That's my favorite old fuddy-duddy chair. I moved to Jamestown in the spring of 1976. I was 22 years old, and I've been here ever since. I bought this house in 1985. This is a shoot here. This is a shoot, man. Come on. I'm married here, raised my children here. It's been the only house my kids have ever known. And just a lot of family history here. And, you know, granted, it makes you a little melancholy that this house needs to go away. But in the same breath, we're going to build a gorgeous, beautiful new home here. and this property will be in this family for generations to come. It'll never be sold. You want to take this, son? We're emptying out the house. This house was totally destroyed. It looks fine, but the basement walls and foundation walls are destroyed, so it's going to be a shave off, and we're going to be building a new house here. We stood right on this deck, and the river was from the edge of the deck all the way to the road. Cars getting washed by, propane tanks washing by, big pieces of people's houses washing by. Came in here and the river was just running through the bottom of the house. So all the stuff was just up and floating and spinning around. That'd be my wife's wedding dress. Kind of wanted my daughter to wear that someday, but a lot of old pictures and stuff like that. Family memorabilia, and a lot of junk. Thanks, man. Next is rebuilding this town and getting all the people back in it. This town will rebuild and it'll come back stronger than ever.
You know, something happens and we as human beings kind of get used to your environment. And the flood happened, what, 5 months ago? 6 months, 5 months ago? I don't even know, 6 months ago? And so everything is disrupted. And then you go home to your house and I can see everyone kind of gets, you'll never have what you had before, but you get used to it and you can live with it. And as human beings, we adjust, right? So you're fixing things, maybe you're moving some dirt, you're getting back in your house, and then here comes a company like us. We're not just in there with shovels, we're changing the whole landscape again. Yeah. But I look every morning and I try to pick my landmarks up here to see where the river's at. There's my rock, that's one of my landmarks. We're doing all right today. So the river looks like it should come in the way they've got it staked right now, because right now they're designing this road. They might have us extend that whole tow wall. Our role is to complete the Emergency Watershed Protection Grant to help prevent additional flooding for the spring runoffs that are coming. This says, what's this say? Riprap bank stabilization with stream barb. So look at it, up here. What we do? We're working in the rivers, but we're working behind people's homes and the people that lost their properties, and they're asking questions. They want to see it. They can't see it. It's hard to see it on the plans, but when you go walk outside and look at it, it's much different because it's real. You know, people are out there walking around.
I mean, it's just unbelievable to me. I never thought I would see a town created.
You got dirt flying, rocks are flying everywhere, the water is running everywhere.
We had the basic bones, but man, they're rebuilding it. Whoa! Sounds of rebuilding.
-8.
when the water does start to come again, and it does come every spring. And this year we have 150 to 160% of snowpack up there. We'll be prepared, and the water should run smoothly through the town without having any additional damage done.
There's my GC and my daughter, and my backhoe guy. Go through the house, Kel, and see if there's anything else. Don't lose the bolt. Well, I guess it doesn't matter at this point.
There he goes. He's getting at it. Look at him.
Yeah, baby. Yeah, that was badass, man. Now we're starting on it. Damn.
How you doing?
I'm okay.
Little teary-eyed.
So sad. It's okay.
Go. This is a milestone. It's a milestone. It's been a journey, you know, and this is a huge milestone. Okay.
Congratulations.
All right.
It's going down. You're
There we
moving
go,
on.
man. There we
moving
go.
on.
Jesus Christ.
Holy man. It's the start, man. The start of a new beginning. The end of an old one.
He was an institution here. He was our patriarch. He was our best friend.
On the one hand, it's a memory of Joe, and on the other hand, it just hurts every time you drive by. Probably it's a good thing that it's coming down.
Somebody said they had a dream of him a month or so after he died, and they said, "Hey, where have you been?" And he said, "Jamestown." And I was like, yeah, it really feels like he's here, and I miss him. Yeah.
He just had the biggest heart and was so much fun to be around. He was the life of many parties.
It's not like we're going to forget Joey anyway, so maybe it's just as well that the house is gone and something new happens.
Mountain strong. That's, this is proof.
All the kazoo band, real tight.
Here we go.
So many people come up for the 4th every year, and they're here despite the fact that it's difficult to get here.
I don't know how many years in a row it's happened, but many years. It's always the biggest party of the year in Jamestown. But this just feels different. It feels like the community is stronger. There's not little groups of people, there's just one group.
You want some whiskey? Real whiskey? Oh, no. If Joey was alive, everything would be perfect. Unfortunately, Joey's not. And he was the kazoo band leader and usually the parade marshal. There's nobody can replace him, you know?
Wow, Joey would be proud.
I have mixed emotions. It feels great to be home, to listen to my daughters play music. Both of them played this morning, and Katie sang the national anthem. It's great to be with all my friends, but I can't live here yet, so it's bittersweet. Been a lot of tears, actually.
So we must be true.
And at the same time, you know, I know that there's so much going on with the roads and the water system and the backup bells and big equipment, you know, making noise and kicking up dust. And so maybe I'm better off, you know, living on the flats for a while. But my heart is here. My heart is so here.
We'll water the snapdragons because they're so pretty. It feels good to do it.
It's been 10.5 months since the flood. And what we're seeing is a lot of activity out there. It's actually a really exciting time. Look outside, what it looks like is a bomb went off. But what's really happening is that the crews have come along and they've replaced all of the water mains. And they're working on replacing the service lines to each individual residence right now. We're almost to 50% of our residents back online with water. It's not potable yet, it's under a boil advisory. But almost half the town now can actually flush toilets and run their sinks and take a bath.
Feels actually like I shouldn't be doing it. Yeah, but I think it's okay.
The filtration system in the water plant we have here, the treatment plant, water needs to go through there to activate it, you know, for a couple of months before we really have overflow. So the more water we use, the better right now. And it's kind of weird. It messes with your mind first. You have to save every drop, and all of a sudden they said, no, use water. So it was a little bit confusing.
We have these quick topics in different websites. There's one called Jamestown Connect. You might see a picture of a faucet that's running and then somebody talking about how excited, so they're posting pictures of their faucets. You know, normally the internet's made up of kittens. We have faucets. So in the interim, what people have done is they've been using cisterns to bring potable water in, and the cisterns hold about 1,650 gallons of water.
You really think about every drop of water. If it cannot be, fresh water cannot go down the drain. It has to be used for something first and then use it to flush the toilet or something like that, or mop the floors and things like that.
I think a lot of people have been waiting on the water to get back functional so that people can just perform the daily routine of life.
Yeah, to not have to, you know, be so tight with it is a wonderful thing.
I just love being back here. I've been looking forward to it ever since we left.
Today was our first day back in our own school.
Good job. Okay.
Mason,
The most important thing about being back in the building is that we're all together again. It brings all the students that were separated last year back together.
3 more because we haven't written the 8. That's a good point. All right, now we need 3 more. We need another rule, guys.
One person has time on the slide.
No, don't go down head first. No, feet first on the slide. Yeah, feet first on the slide.
The flood happened on a Tuesday night, the 11th. Everyone just kind of took a breath. Many of our students were helicoptered out of Jamestown. The district pulled together a log cabin up at Glacier View Ranch and turned it into a school for us. We spent the winter up there with 14 of our students. 6 of our students went down to Community Montessori with our 3, 4, 5 teacher.
We were down in Boulder for, I don't know, like 3 or 4 months, maybe more.
Hi, my name is Walter. I'm in 3rd grade and I'm 8 and I think school's awesome.
It was just really sad being down away from everybody else and then so happy to be back up here with everybody.
There were like a bunch of wild turkeys out in the forest. They got in this line and they really straightly and fastly followed each other.
Even when we are at full capacity, we're 25. And so 5th graders and kindergartners play together. You don't have that in a regular school. 5th grade and 4th grade don't even get together. That's not done. But here, you know, we're a family and we all play together. And so that's really nice.
I guess that's sort of one of my favorites.
September 11th, you know, we talked about what we wanted to do for the anniversary, and we definitely didn't want it to be a celebration because although we have a lot to celebrate as far as our recovery goes, it's still a terrible event that happened to us.
I mean, we feel so much stronger and closer to people in town.
And it's really going to be community focused. We want to be together during this. On the 11th, we're just going to have a regular night at the Merc. There's a great band playing, and we're going to all go out and dance and have a good time, and then we're going to have a candlelight vigil down to Joey's grave right around the time that he passed. And then the next day is going to be kind of our opening up to the rest of our extended community that's helped us through all this. And we want it to be a time where we can thank people for all the efforts that they put in.
It has been 1 year, and yet in many ways it seems like only yesterday. It takes very little prodding to bring it all back. The roar of the creek, the pounding of rain on the roof, the rapid beat of a passing helicopter overhead, and it all rushes back. The town of Jamestown lost 17 homes in our fire hall, which is 13% of our structures. We lost our drinking water system, 50% of our roads, access to bridges and the Ward Street culvert. The infrastructure we had faith in failed us. Our roads failed, our power lines failed, communication lines failed, but our community never failed.
I want you to give me a serious face, like, no more floods. Leah, that's amazing.
We're going to have an art show with local artists who may have a piece that's related to the flood.
I think it's good to look back on it and think about how far we've come and that we've done it as a community. And to celebrate the community. I think that's where I feel the celebration in this weekend.
We're pouring our foundation. Poured the footer last Friday. That was really the first part where I got really excited. The whole town's watching it.
What I always dreamt to do is go to a construction site and just check things out and not have to lift a hammer. So I go to all the construction sites in a cubic yard as well.
It's like the stadium seating. Free concert from now on.
We're just watching some construction instead of
excitement.
destruction. Really happy to see the first house going up.
Oh, there was so many parties in there. And it was just this little tiny house, and now he's got all this room. It's going to be fun to see what happens here.
I cannot picture what this house is going to look like. No, no. You know, we lived in such an old house. It was just a little mining cabin. This is a simple structure and a simple house, but to us, the simple life we had, it's going to be a little McMansion to us. Oh man. No, I don't think I'll be able to really picture it until I start seeing some framing going up, maybe some drywall going on. Spent the lunch hour today looking at windows. There's so much stuff that goes along with this. You know, specifying the windows, the appliances, you know, what's going to come in the future, paint colors, you know, furniture. This whole town, man, is going to see this coming up. And it's going to give them all encouragement, all inspiration. So good to be home. It's a year and 4 months. I miss some of the possessions we lost and some of the memorabilia, but no, we're happy with the new house. It's way more than I ever imagined. It's more than I ever dreamt. I mean, everything's just so new and so nice and thought out, well designed and functional, and you know, it looks good. You know, this is north, that's south. Almost a walk-in pantry. This is a 3-compartment modular system, okay? So this is like east and south. You can have 2 grills set up and 2 burners. So this is pure sunshine on this side. There's a lot of space under here. Come on, you want to come? You want to be on TV? And we might just do some steaks tonight. I don't know. It's pretty, man. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous. We're trying to pull off an old Jamestown look. That was the idea anyway, and we pulled off a lot of it. A little painful to get from there to here, but at the end of the day, pretty cool.
Did you ever think you'd leave town?
No. No, no, not for a second.
How come?
Because it's my home, and you fight for your home, and there's no place else I ever wanted to be. No, that was never in the picture. No, I was going to do whatever it took.